Hello and welcome to this session. My name is Sienna Adderley and I am the Partnerships Manager with Think Pacific here in the UK. I'm here to talk you through innovations in internationalisation at home and our approach as Think Pacific to this through the remote internship programme that we offer. Now, before getting into the remote internship and how it links to this concept, I wanted to touch briefly on Think Pacific as an organisation, who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do, so that you can understand the bigger picture of the remote internship and how it plays into the field of internationalisation at home. So Think Pacific. We, as it says here, aim to have a global impact with a local approach. We are essentially a social enterprise organisation that is based in Fiji, Bali, and Thailand, and of course, remotely as well. Everything that Think Pacific aims to do is to deliver genuinely impactful, meaningful, and sustainable programs across these destinations, all of which are based through partnership and collaboration. Every single thing that Think Pacific does is with our partners, through our partners, and for our partners. All of our programs are locally led, locally designed, and locally implemented. We almost offer ourselves on a plate to our in-partner countries and go, this is who we are. How can we support what you do? In a nutshell, Think Pacific exists to increase the capacity of pre-existing locally led initiatives. We're not trying to come into a place and say, this is what we think, this is how it should be done. It's all about listening to the voices of local people and designing programs with them that are going to be genuinely impactful and beneficial to the countries in which we work. As we mentioned, partnerships are at the core of everything that Think Pacific does. We believe that engaging with local partners is the most effective means of working in a unified and genuinely effective way towards shared goals. We're very lucky that we've built up an extensive network of partner organisations with which we collaborate, from government ministries to sporting organisations to charities, businesses, enterprises. And these are the organisations which we work with and who we work for, essentially. Now, Think Pacific is not a big organisation. We've been operating since 2009, and our focus really is being on a small but impactful organisation. Everything we aim to do, we do with care, with sensitivity, and it's specifically and specially crafted. We've been lucky that over the past 15 years, we've been able to guide upwards of 10,000 students across various projects across multiple different settings. And through that, we've also been lucky enough to be affiliated with over 100 universities across the globe. So that's what we do. But how does this play into internationalisation at home? Well, Think Pacific offer a programme called the Remote Internship, and this is the opportunity for students and people to contribute towards our goals and our aims and initiatives as Think Pacific, but from the comfort of their own home. So the main aim of the remote internship and how it works is that we connect students and people from across the globe with Fijian organisations. And through this connection, they work to complete action projects. Now, these action projects are programs that we have developed alongside the partner organisations. We sit down with them and we talk about what are their goals, what would they like to achieve, and if there are any barriers to achieving those things. We then convert these conversations into projects that our wonderful interns come on and complete. The aim of this really is that through this engagement, we're able to provide genuine, tangible solutions and results to organisations in Fiji. But in turn, the programme allows students and the participants that are joining this programme to gain new skills, to learn about new cultures, to understand different perspectives, and to create culturally aware global citizens. So the way that this works, or the key elements to understand of the remote internship, essentially, if you boil it all down at its most basic form, the remote internship is a really unique form of work experience. And people and interns have the opportunity to work on behalf of Fijian government ministries, NGOs, enterprises, and charities. Now, every single thing that Think Pacific does in Fiji, especially the remote internship, It's all part of our aims to contribute towards Fiji's National Development Plan and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So Fiji's National Development Plan is a 5 and 20-year plan that has been created by Fijians for their own development. And it's kind of like Fiji's contribution to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So Think Pacific, we almost view ourselves as a tiny, tiny cog in a much bigger mechanism. And this, what we do, the remote internship, our programs in country, are all part of the piece of a much bigger puzzle that is Fiji reaching the FNDP and the UN SDG. The internship itself is completely flexible. It's completed entirely remotely online, and students can choose to do it between 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks. And through joining the internship, they have the opportunity to gain experience in 10 different career fields, from everything from health to tourism, from engineering all the way through to marketing. Alongside completing this project, as I mentioned, students and interns have the opportunity to complete learning modules in things such as sustainable development and Fijian culture, things that I'll touch on in just a moment. They also have the opportunity to learn directly from industry experts and professionals in Fiji, as well as looking at their own skills and development when thinking about their future. So CVs, references, LinkedIn, all of those things. So what does this look like for the student? When they are joining a remote internship, interns will go through something that we call the 5D process. And this is the 5 phases of the remote internship. These phases are discovery, discussion, decide, design, and deliver. And this is how we get people from joining the internship, having maybe never understood anything about Fiji before, through to producing a piece of work that will then be submitted to a local organisation for them to implement and use as part of their own development and initiatives. It all starts with discovery. We are really strong believers that we should all live by the phrase, we should seek to understand before seeking to be understood. And what this means is we can't possibly make valuable contributions to the sector without first understanding the context in which it's based. So the discovery phase is all about participants learning and gaining an understanding of Fijian culture and life, of their area of interest within a Fijian context, as well as sustainable development. They'll then move into the discussion phase where they'll connect with other interns on the programme, and they are their mentors and the team of Think Pacific to kind of discuss different ideas, different approaches, and their interests when it comes to the programme. They then will move on to the decide phase. So once they've got all that background information, this is where they will choose their project. They will look at the 10 different sectors. Within that, they'll find a partner organisation that really speaks to them, that they feel passionate about and that they want to make a contribution to. And they will then, within that, choose a programme that they feel they would like to make a valuable contribution to. After this, they'll be given a brief. They will then go and design their response to this programme. There are no marking criteria, there is no grade schemes. This is complete creative freedom to the individual and allowing them to produce a piece of work that is important to them and that they believe will be genuinely impactful when it comes to getting the results that they would like to see. At the end of the programme, we enter the delivery phase, where students will then present their work back to the partner organisation, almost packaging it up like a present. So they will record a presentation and submit all of their work, explaining what they've done, why they've done it, and how it can be implemented so that this work can really easily go from a concept and idea into a reality. Throughout the time on the internship, all interns will receive one-to-one support by their mentor. This is a member of our fantastic Fiji team whose role is to guide and support them through their experience, but more importantly, to ensure that the work they are creating is in line with Fiji, that it's culturally sensitive and accurate, that it meets the goals of Fiji's National Development Plan, that it takes into account different considerations such as environment, social, political. Alongside this, each internship, students have the opportunity to take part in a wide range of live webinars that are delivered each week by our team to the interns. This includes weekly briefings about what will happen that week, Fiji Fact Series where students and interns can get upskilled as to what some of the interesting facts about Fiji, We do culture courses. They can learn cooking, dancing, singing, myths, legends, history, as our team deliver them special sessions all about culture. We have guest speakers, industry experts and professionals in Fiji who come and chat to our interns, sharing their knowledge and expertise with them. We have networking events, we have debriefs, we have updates, news sessions. You think of it, our fantastic team in Fiji produce it. Now, I've talked a lot about partners and I won't go on about it too much anymore, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the organisations in which the remote internship and Think Pacific support. The 7 that we see the most popular are the Ministry of Health, the Climate Change and International Cooperation Division, the CCICD, Youth Champs for Mental Health, a fantastic organisation looking at mental health and wellbeing in Fiji, Femlink Pacific, which is a feminist media organisation, Solar Fiji, and right at the bottom here, we have Diabetes Fiji. All of our partners span across multiple different sectors. We have, as I mentioned, government ministries, national sporting organisations such as National Rugby League Fiji, Netball Fiji, Athletics Fiji. We have organisations and charities and business and enterprises as well. So what is the aim? What do we want to get out of the remote internship? Well, it's twofold. We have aims and initiatives for the interns that join the programme. What would we like to gain, or what would we like them to gain as part of their experience? Obviously, we want global experience. They get the chance to do real work to increase their cultural IQ. This access to a network of exclusive partners and organisations. They get the personal mentoring to make a genuine contribution and to look at their own personal and professional development. But for our partners, it goes beyond that. They have the opportunity to connect with students on the other side of the world and receive work that can be genuinely beneficial and impactful to their organisations. We then also provide support for smaller local enterprises to engage on the internship at a collaborative level for delivery of live sessions and short courses, so these organisations can look at their own development alongside the remote internship. We then have also created a huge network in Fiji of our partner organisations who are able to skill share amongst themselves and develop and grow as a cooperative. Now, I'm sure you've heard me speak a lot about what we do and why we do what we do. So I wanted to put some facts and figures and a voice that isn't just mine to this. We are incredibly proud of the work that we do at Think Pacific. For me personally, I always say it's a real honour and a privilege that I get to put on my Think Pacific uniform every day and represent the organisation in what we do. And this is why. When we're looking at intern feedback, we can see that 100% of students that joined the remote internship last year said that the programme enhanced their cultural awareness. 97% said it enhanced their employability. 95% said the programme enhanced their personal and professional development. And this is figures from 1,086 interns that completed the internship last year alone. They were based across 19 countries. This means that we received 845 separate action projects across 46 different organisations in Fiji. And it's not just the interns that have a great time on the programme as well. You can see here some of the feedback from our partner organisations in Fiji. I'm going to read just one to you. And that is from the Ministry of Education. And they said, I was really impressed with all of the proposal videos and I commend the effort of the interns. The information is hoping to assist a lot of teachers in special and inclusive schools. We'll be sharing those resources on the website, the NACA. And this just goes to show the work that the students and interns are completing. It isn't just a concept, it's work that is genuinely going to be used by organisations and ministries across Fiji. But you've heard a lot from me, so I'm going to pass over now to one of our previous interns, Abigail Page, so that you can hear about her experience on the Think Pacific Remote Internship.
I'm Abby, and I'm an undergraduate anthropology student at UCL. And I decided to go for the TP Foundation internship, which was the turmeric farming, and the basic premise was, how do you go about building a non-for-profit that cuts out middlemen? What I ended up basing my research on was the supply chain, so how you get from a farmer to a customer. So my research project in the end involved how we could sort of create an organization that encompasses the supply chain rather than having different organizations and traders change the values that goes on independently. You're actually working on a project that's meaningful and has potential to happen. You know, you can choose something and partner with a company or group that is in real life in the progress of developing, and you can be a part of that, which I found pretty inspiring. And I guess that just motivates you to keep doing it.
And it's not just Abby who's joined the remote internship. We've had, as it says here, sorry, last year alone, 111 universities across the globe who had students engaged in the program. Teesside University is a spectacular example of this. We've had over 100 students join us across the past few years when it comes to our remote internship. And this student here talks about the opportunity to learn from industry experts through the speaker series with the remote internship. And she said it was mind-opening to hear from someone who is in the same field that I am and cares about, who works in the same field that I am in, about the work that she does in a totally different country. And this also comes from academics at universities as well. They see the benefit of connecting students with organisations, especially when we look at this internationalisation from home. Steve McDonald from the University of Western Sydney says that he's impressed with the organisation and delivery of the programme as a whole, but especially the depth of cultural insight provided by the Think Pacific team. As a registered Fijian organisation with a permanent local staff team, they create comprehensive and a fully supported offering. But I want to bring it back as to why this is important. When we look at internationalisation from home, why does this matter to us, to people who work in the higher education sphere? And really, I think it all comes down to navigating the ever-changing nature of the university landscape. As we all know, universities at the moment are working incredibly hard to widen participation from traditionally underrepresented backgrounds in global activities, whilst also considering a lot of the financial pressures and the barriers to participation when it comes to these things. Allowing students to join a programme from the comfort of their own home means that there is no disparity based on your ability to travel, the background that you come from. Everyone has access and opportunities to learn and to develop skills, but also to make this contribution. When we're talking about skill development, engaging in a global context allows students to develop critical thinking skills, global citizenship, and employability skills. There's a real focus on creating work-ready global citizens. This is also complemented by increasing exposure to and understanding of different cultures and ways of life, which, as we all know, in an ever increasingly globally collected world, is more important than ever. Furthermore, I'm a really strong believer that allowing these opportunities from home allows students the chance to gain opportunities and experience outside of academia, not only furthering their own knowledge, but also exposing them to new career paths, new networks, and new sets of skills that they maybe wouldn't have got through traditional academia whilst at university. And on top of all of that, we have the fact that internationalisation from home allows students to make a genuine, tangible, and sustainable impact, irrespective of their background, their circumstance, or their ability to travel. Fundamentally, it is accessible to all. And I think that's something that's really important as we look at the market and the environment that a lot of people are graduating into these days. It used to be that a degree set you apart, then it was work experience set you apart. And it's now getting harder and harder for students to stick their head up above the crowd. And I think engaging in a global opportunity is a fantastic way to do that. But as we've talked about, not everyone has the opportunity to do that. So looking at internationalisation from home, we can then really begin to think about why these things are so important. And that is everything from me, other than to say a huge thank you, or as we say in Fiji, vinaka bakaleva. And if you're interested to learn more, I would please encourage you to look at our website, which is just www.thinkpacific.com. And if you would like to hear from someone else other than myself, which I desperately encourage you to do, I would recommend you take a look at our webpage, thinkpacific.com/virtual-internship testimonials. This is where you can hear directly from students and participants on the remote internship about their experience and what it's meant to them to join the program. And if you have any questions about Think Pacific more broadly, then please contact info@thinkpacific.com. If you've seen the remote internship and you're interested in collaborating through our program or working together, I would love to hear from you, and we can discuss the ways in which we can work together and help students and other people join remote internships and access opportunities. If you would like to do that, you can just drop me an email at sienna@thinkpacific.com. That is Sienna spelled SIENNA at thinkpacific.com. Thank you so much for listening to me through this presentation, and I hope to hear from you soon. All the best. Bye-bye.